Here's my update. Okay, I've got all of my insulation in. I've done a lot of foam, expanding foam, so I've got the new piece of paneling in, so, and I made a pillow to go in both skylights, and so that'll keep the heat in. I have the heat on. It's warm in here, so it's not that cold outside, but it's still warm in here. And so I can put the rest of my paneling up, and then another piece gone up. Okay, these lines I've cut in here are to bend this wood to go into the curve of the ceiling. So, okay, this is the front wall. I'm redoing it because I'm not really satisfied, so I'm using this square here, and I'm just measuring out for the front window. I've decided not to get rid of the front window right now because there are just so many other things to this camper that need to be worked on, so I really need to just, save my money because the aluminum for the front end without the window is going to be expensive. So, okay, and here is my front piece. I tried to piece it together before, but it really didn't work out, so I went ahead and just made one solid piece. That's a lot easier. I have to cut this back some on the bottom and on the right side, so I'm going to go trim it back maybe 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now the piece of paneling across the top front wall there, where it curves, where the ceiling meets the front wall. So this is the back side, and these are called curve cuts. I learned this in art class when I took college art. So these are slits with a razor blade cut into the back side of the paneling, and when I try to bend it, it'll bend easier. It'll make the paneling bend to the shape of the curved wall. So I did it once before, but I cracked the paneling, so this time hopefully I won't crack it. Okay, now I've got my curve cuts cut, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my foot on this. See, it snaps. It snaps just a little at a time. You do it a little at a time. It cracks. So that's how it's done. Okay, now, officially have my Cabover mostly installed. So I have my wall frames installed. I have to put the rest of the screws in. This front panel here is installed, so I can put new paper on the ceiling, or just put paneling on the ceiling of the rest of the Cabover. So this window frame is installed. Sorry about the shaking. Okay, now I wanted to share with you, I have all of my foam board in my windows, and I'm replacing the paneling in the ceiling of the cab over here, and then I'm going to add these little corner pieces in the corners, and then the paneling in my cab over will be complete. All I'll have to do is sand down the paneling that's here with any mistakes and just give it some clear shellac. So in here I also have the foam board in there and in this window over here, so, and I'm going to put foam board in between the screen door and the big door, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and that'll help to hold heat in too, so privacy and heat. And so, okay, now I have gotten all of my old paneling up. I've got my curtain rail down, ready for the measuring of the new paneling on the ceiling. It'll just be exactly like this in the front. This side piece is going to come from here, and it's going to come up here. This piece over here is going to come straight out, and then what I'll do is get another piece to fill in the middle. This piece is 20 inches across, and front to back it's 30 1/4. Over here it is 30 across and 30 5/8. I mean 30 7/8. My bad. I'm sorry. So I'm getting ready to cut the wood for the paneling for the ceiling in my Cabover. So I'm going to measure it out and have this little L-shaped square that I can use to make sure everything's square. Okay, I've cut my two pieces. So, okay now, and I have of course, my ceiling prepped and ready. Okay now, I've cut my pieces again. I just needed to cut those and to be able to fit them around these cabinets, and so I'm going to fit them, and then I'll glue them, and I'll nail them in place. Looks like I forgot something and I goofed up a little bit, so I'm going to have to do a little more cutting. Okay now, I've just put this little piece up in the corner, and so this is my new paneling, the ceiling, and the Cabover. It's pieced together a little bit, but I'm going to use a little bit of wood filler, and I'm going to, for right now, the cabinet over here, just like this, that goes over here. I'm going to put it back here for now until I think about what I'm going to do with this wall and the cabinetry, and make little corner pieces up there for both of these sides, and they're going to be removable just in case it leaks or something. I can take those corner pieces off and, see the water damage if there's water coming in, so I can use that to tell, because with these kind of campers, you never really know if you're leaking until you got damage, water damage, and damaged wood, so this is the way it's going to look. And this foam board, I'm going to paint it black on the inside and outside, so I think it's starting to take shape. So the last thing I'll have to do is sand down some of the bad places on this paneling. And when I do that, in this front wall, this wall here, I'm going to sand it down and do that little front bulkhead wall too. And so places like this and all these bad places, get some wood peel. And I'm thinking about taking some scrap wood like this and peeling off the outside layer and making it into veneer. Maybe I can cut little circular pieces of veneer and put them in the screw holes, Maybe I can do it that way. I'll just experiment and see what works well. And this little wall there, I may replace that side wall eventually. And so eventually, this fake wood here, I'd like to get some really good really dark varnish to put over top of this artificial paneling. Just some stain, translucent stain, so you can still see the wood grain through it, but make it a lot darker. Maybe it won't look as fake. So I'll try to get a shot of this from back here. And then my little curtain track is going to go in between the white and the wood. So that's where the curtain track's going to be, and it's going to kind of hide your seam there. Okay, now I have my roof vent bezel on, so, and I'm going to cut these corner pieces, and let's see. Yeah, I've got this in here, and this is my curtain rod apparatus. It's going to go as the border between the white and the wooden roof, so it'll look more inconspicuous. And I've taken this wall and I've sanded it down a little bit. Took some of those extra screws out, and I'm going to maybe use some nails instead. It's hard to do anything with those screws. It ruins the appearance. Get some wood filler and fill some of this in, and it will look better when I'm done with it. I'll make sure I do make it look decent. So I found a little bit of black paint. I'm going to try to paint these black. So